Rolling up on day 141. It's been way too long. Let's check it out. So we may be dealing with some shadows here and some shots this afternoon, but it's the only way to go when the weather cools down a little bit. The official time is 7 p.m. So there's a lot going on here. This house was built in the 80s, typical on stilts. Had its main floor, and then they added an observation deck / bedroom later on. They added a swimming pool also. And one thing they added that we got rid of was they had a 2-car garage right in the center. And so we wanted to take it back to the original authentic look of having it all on stilts and still utilize the room for a family room, media room, weight room, Todd's room, as we call it, but also have it sort of a see-through. And you'll see as this comes together, we'll have the foyer, the entry that goes into a breezeway that's open, that goes in the glass doors, that goes into the media room, which goes out into a screened-in porch. So you got multiple rooms that have views all the way through, gives it more of a open look, even though you're utilizing the room. In order to do that, we did something unique. I've done this before. It's not as odd as it may sound over the video, but if you haven't done this, we did an inline 2-car garage. It's very efficient. It's not as troublesome as you would think on pulling cars out to get one out, because you obviously put your main car you use the most in the rear. So it's good if you got a beach home like this where you're going to utilize, again, your main vehicle, and then you've got maybe your secondary vehicle in the front that you're using just when necessary. But we're able to highlight the garage, but yet not be a centerpiece. We'll have a separate drive entryway that's going to come up with a gate, and then also the existing drive here will be redone, and it will still be the main entry as I'm walking up. We demoed, since the last video, we demoed this privacy fence separating the pool and the drive. We do that, it's more open. But the big changes is from the 80s to the time we purchased the home back in early, I believe it was in 23 years of running together, but purchased this home in 23, is we had Hurricane Harvey in 17. So that gives us the opportunity to go up to new flood levels. This house was already, everyone always wants to look for positive comments about the existing homes from the remodeling home, but this is really true. This existing pavement, we came to find out, is that a right phrase, is this actually goes down about 3 feet. It's crazy. Then what we also discovered through digging up some ode to get some things out of the way is you see this kind of gravel here, kind of a track surface is underneath here. If you go down just not even a foot, you've got another subfloor of concrete, which actually these pylons are not going into, as it would appear, just into the ground. They're going into concrete. So it is concrete all the way out to where you see this border that we discovered now. It's probably where they knew that there was a separation, but this is concrete, not just in the main home, but all the way out to every pylon, 3 feet down. That's why it made it through the hurricane, no doubt. And then with the new existing levels, back over here, flood levels, we had to raise it another, looks like probably 18 inches or so. I think it's anywhere from 15 to 18 inches. So last time I was down, I was standing here, and we'll see what we do when we jump up there. We still have good ceiling height. Just solid. The moment we want to take a moment to look at this front entry. I don't know if you can get a perspective of just how taller we've come up on the elevation. We're in floods, so we'll have stairs obviously coming out that haven't been built yet. This is just your first pour. We're going to the main. This is one of the elevations of the front porch after you have the stairs. And then we walk into the foyer, nice door. To the right will be an elevator. To the left will be a suspended stairway system all the way up to the 3rd floor. Touch on this private elevator. They're calling residential elevator. First of all, they can be much smaller. So they're not as expensive as you think they are, but they're still expensive. But my audience, I'm throwing things out there, is anywhere from a first grade level to a college graduate level or even master's level. So I try to explain a little bit of everything, anywhere from the novice to the expert. But those that know, but what you may not know, and I've been dealing with this in commercial construction all my life, is the higher you go, it's exponentially. It's not even double the cost. If you go double the height, it's going to be probably triple the cost. Dealing with wind loads and engineering and beams and all that just gets complicated. So big decision made right off the bat is, do you want to go all the way to what we're calling, we got the first floor now is a game room, basement, media room, family room, TV's room. Do you want to go from, now we're calling this the first floor, to the second floor and then up to the third floor with the master? Or do you just want to stop at the second floor, which is only about, I'll say no more than about 10 feet. I chose the 10 feet. I said, don't worry about the upstairs. I'll figure that out. Don't use me as an excuse. I'm going to get old and need to have the elevator go all the way up to spend another, 6-figure number. So anyway, good stuff happening here. Spent some time today on the elevation itself and explaining how we got to this height. I want to talk a little bit about what we have going on in front. We're going to do a single door, wide, oversized door versus your traditional 2 doors. Get the oversized look. Won't be quite as wide as 2 doors, but to me, it's more functional. It's still a big, heavy door, so it's a little bit more engineering involved, but we like that look better. There'll be all windows, front, right, and left, and so the suspended stair system will be exposed from the outside. Now, it's not really being designed for it to be seen, but we just felt like with having windows there that, hey, if you're going to be able to see through, at least have something to look at, right? And again, on the right side, the elevator, but windows more so than what you see here. If we don't change our mind, I don't think the paint color is going to change much as far as its primary paint color. Will obviously be new paint, but we kind of like this. This will blend in more with our natural, the landscaping that we like. So again, if it changes, I'll let you know. So last update, I didn't want to touch on this subject. It was a sore subject of this. Again, with me, as you know me, for 4 weeks ahead, we're probably 8 weeks behind in my mind. But we were literally behind here on the pouring the slab. Always comes back to engineering, but that's okay. A lot of your engineering has to be after you kind of get things going. You come back on site and you look at the structure, and once you see our contractor, Garrett, does a few things, and our engineer comes back out. So I didn't have a really big issue with that, other than, again, we're behind, right? But anyway, made some engineering changes, strengthened it up a little bit, and now we're here. So I'm standing on top of the foyer here, as I've described previously. This is going to be hopefully not a lot of money. The reason why it's blank is we still believe that we can have infill here and just put a wood decking over it, and it'd be a walkway to get from your foyer to a breezeway, that this will remain open. Again, the deck will be a same height, and get into the, again, man cave, media room, Todd's room. Don't call it the slash room, right? It's Todd slash media room slash weight room slash bike room slash whatever room slash. The breeze is always just, it's wonderful. So you can see, even at this height of the new elevation, the berms are still giving you the privacy, but yet the wind is literally just bouncing right off those berms right into my face right now. It feels really good. Just a nice breeze. This will be the screened in porch, all totally screened in. We'll be able to open these doors here to let the breeze come all the way through. And that was the ideal, is to kind of have a open look. Open these doors, and then we're also going to have some screens that we can push, that we can pull down for electric shades to come down. Again, the foyer and all that will be glassed in. That's where it's all air conditioned, part of the main home now. And so you literally have air wind coming through both sides here in, so we get a little breeze coming through here, all screened in, keeping out all the things you don't want to come inside. That's going to be something to see. So I might have said this in a couple of clips here. I'm probably going to make this a 2-part series and have the second part of this week discuss all the structural steel that's happening upstairs. So because of that, there hadn't been a whole lot going on upstairs. We have done a little bit of framing downstairs. This is just a traditional kind of half bath leading out to the deck and the swimming pool. We do have an oversized mudroom, laundry room downstairs. We will have a laundry upstairs, but this is your downstairs where you can just literally come in off the beach for the pool and have a laundry mat down here. But it's probably, I don't know if when you look at things on plans, you don't realize that, or you really utilizing this room correctly by making this a laundry room with the view that it has. But anyway, it's where it fits, so we're good with that. So those that know me know I always like to just shoot it straight, and I will tell you that there's good, better, and best, right? So the good way to know how your house, this is the good way. This is like the lowest level good. And then you have better and best, right? So the good way, if you want to get an idea of the way your house is going to turn out, is look at the set of plans. Yes, that's what I said. Look at the plans. That is the worst way to know how your house is going to look. The better is to come out here and take measurements yourself and get an idea from your plans of what it's going to look like. And the best way is to, after you start, to come back out after the contractors looked at the plans, after the contractors also made measurements and you have on site. And now you both come back out and see, okay, where are the variations? What do you need to do? What changes do you need to make? So looking at a set of prints, you can look at a set of prints all day long. And I promise you would have never even noticed because we probably didn't even have it on the elevation. I didn't even have a side elevation from the outside, but look here. Here's this half bath, no windows. So the most important thing to do when you're constructing something for yourself, especially your home, don't rely on the set of prints and don't rely on the fact that you can come out here and do a few measurements and go to the house. The best time to come out is right when it's being built if you need to make some changes. So right here we'll add a little vertical window, a little horizontal window, going across all the way, give it some light. I'm not going to give the type of updates where I'm literally getting out a tape measure and giving you, hey, this is exactly 10 feet, 6 3/4 inches. I couldn't do that myself. But I can visually look at these things and give you a good idea. So we didn't know exactly what we were going to get when we raised this up, literally, again, 18 inches. But we probably have a ceiling height still of right at 10 feet. It's certainly over 9. I'm going to say it's somewhere between 9.5, probably 9.5, almost 10 feet, which is perfect. It's still, it is a media room, game room. So you don't want the ceiling to be real high anyway. But I think it just turned out, so far, everything that we've done has been the way we envisioned it, or we've had some fixes that made it to where we envisioned it. Have had no major issues whatsoever. So I'll have to admit that I've got a little struggle between my favorite times of the day to get this type of view. 7:30 a.m. is beautiful. Sun's coming up right over the pier there. But it's absolutely gorgeous at 7:22 p.m. right now. Just want to let everyone know I do appreciate the positive feedback and the compliments and the followers. I enjoy giving these updates. You can watch the full episodes, full length on YouTube at Real Todd Behringer. And the playlist is the Port Aransas Reinvention Experiment. You've got about a year of this, so you won't miss much.